see. I have like Loki hair everywhere. What are you doing, Pop Pop? Pop Pop. I see you. How you doing, big boy? I know. Come on. You want to come up? Oh no, don't jump on the bed. Good morning. Come here, Loki. Come on. Good morning. Whew, that the puppy story is pretty long, kind of intense, but there's a happy ending. I'm not in my normal. I'm usually in the basement in my room. Oh my god, he jumped on the bed. Okay, he's not crying. All right. Shows you that dogs are way more resilient than their owners are. Yesterday was like one of those days. It was a lot to take in. So Loki the day before yesterday, he wasn't feeling very well, and he had like loose movements. And I seen a trickle of blood, and I was alarmed. So the my vet was like, "Is he throwing up blood?" I'm like, "No." He was like, "Okay, you could take him to the pet ER." He was like, "You could take him to the pet ER, or you can wait until 9 o'clock in the morning and come into the vet." That's why I did a short captain's log. So they did some X-rays, blood work, and he lost like almost 19 pounds of weight. So they said it because of how fast it was. They thought he had a foreign body like lodged in his stomach where he wasn't able to pass it. So they sent me to the ER. So I was there, and they took him back for immediate exploratory surgery. Um, when they got in there, because they were seeing, and his stomach was full of gas, like so much gas. I guess when your puppy or your cat has a CT scan, or um, Loki, or a sorry, I found a different cone of shame, so that way he was able to do be a little bit, have more movement. But now I'm second guessing my choices. um, if your pet has a lot of gas in their stomach, and there's not like a lot of food or whatever, that's usually a red flag for having a foreign body that they're unable to pass. So I took the dog. I took him immediately to a clinic that was able to do surgery on him within like an hour, and it was about 30 minutes away from me, but it's an area I wasn't very familiar with, and my like I'm already frazzled because I'm worried about Loki. So they took him back immediately, and I sat there and I waited, and I seen all these other dogs come out. Um, they couldn't find any foreign body, but he had tons of inflammation throughout his whole intestines. Um, so while they were in there, they did a procedure to tuck his stomach so it doesn't. When larger breeds, their stomach can have a like flip or turn, and it could be a fatal, like a fatal incident. And they just, while they were in there, like, let's get this fixed, and so that way he doesn't have anything other issues. So Loki right now is on antibiotics. He's on nerve medication, gabapentin, which is so weird because we already had this conversation that I take that for my headaches. Um, he's on gabapentin. He's on antibiotics and an anti-nausea medicine, and then an anti-inflammatory medicine. I do have a sedation pill if he is too active and he's gonna wind up injuring himself. It's gonna take about 2 weeks to fully heal, but the first 24 to 48 hours are the most crucial. So it'll be 24 hours at. He went into surgery at 2 o'clock yesterday, so it'll be 24 hours then. So I'm kind of keeping him away from my other dog because they said that they don't want him roughhousing. They don't want another puppy like licking or doing what they normally do, what puppies do. So I have that, and then it was just very stressful having him put under anesthesia, and like literally praying the whole time. And um, I was by myself. My husband unfortunately wasn't able to get anyone to help him like switch places with him at work so he can get off. And it was just a lot. Like I did not know how much he weighed until he couldn't like he wasn't able to move. So I had to help load him into the car, load him out of the car, help him get upstairs. It was like I'm sore today and a lack of sleep. But this morning he went up and down the stairs by himself. He went outside and he used the restroom. So that's really good things. And he just jumped on the bed when I was on the when I'm doing a live. That's why my eyes were bulging out of my head. So he's acting like himself, just like a little bit. He still has, he just went. He had medicine and he had surgery. You could tell that he had surgery, but he's not acting like he did yesterday. Yesterday, I was about to literally cry after he had the surgery. Like we had to baby bird him with like syringes with fluids, and it's just not Loki. Loki's super hyperactive. Loki's very lovable, and he's like always wanting to be underneath you. So I was so scared last night. Yesterday was just a scary day. So today's plan is, I'm not going to be able to go in my workroom because I need to watch him. I want to see how he acts today, and then tomorrow when I go back into my workroom, I'm going to make him like an oversized doggy bed with all these different couch cushions, and keep him in the workroom room and have him, because they want him because of where his stitches are and where they had explored in his stomach. They said that my other dog Roxy would naturally try to like lick to try to keep that area clean for him, and he's like that's a natural reaction, but we need to keep them separated as long as possible, especially because they like to like play tug of war and roughhouse. And so the way I figured is I'm just gonna keep him down in my workroom with me and just close the door so he can either sleep on the stairs or sleep on his dog bed by my room. So I can go back to work. But today is all about balancing his medicines because he has a lot of medicines, and just keep checking the wounds and checking his gums. They want me to check his gums for the next 48 hours to make sure that they're the right color and they're not going pale. I didn't know that if your dog is not feeling well, immediately their coat will be dull and not shiny. I've had dogs all my life and I never even heard of that. So, yeah, we're up in the master bedroom, and I'm on my chase. And he's on his dad's side of the bed. um, and yeah, Kendall gets off work early today. We have somebody coming in to check the back sliding glass door. We're supposed to get quotes on it because air's coming out. So I have to keep him calm. And if he gets too rowdy, I might have to give him something to help him sleep while there's people in the house. Because as soon as he hears somebody this morning, he starts barking. Like we had an Amazon package come this morning, and he just went, I don't know. I'm gonna call the doctor to see if, because he's so hyper, is this when I sedate him because it's only day, it's not, it hasn't been 24 hours yet. I'm like, there's so many questions, so many questions, and the kids were all worried when I was walking. Faith came in when I was trying to get him upstairs from the surgery, and she didn't know. None of the kids knew he went into surgery, so she was crying hysterically yesterday, and it was just, it's been a lot. It's been a lot. Thank you, Teresa. I didn't know that. Like that they were like if your dog hair gets less shiny, that's indications that there's he could be in shock or he can have an infection. I was like, "What?" Loki's always been every time I show a picture of him, everyone loves his coat. He's super shiny. Thank you, Jenny. Yeah, he is a handsome boy. He's a I guess most people that they're the vets their emergency surgery, they say like most of the people like leave and like go to the Starbucks or Subway, and I stayed there, and unfortunately like the nurse had no idea that I was his owner, and they were like, wait, no one told me there was a cane corso. I'm like, he's half cane corso and half Great Dane, right? And they were like freaking out about him. They were like, he's so lovable. The doctor came out and the doctor's assistant came out and was like, I'm willing to trade a dog with you for him. He is the most lovable dog I've ever seen. I'm like, yeah, all he wants to do is like smother people with kisses. Literally, someone could break in this house and he will bark and then like wag his tail and probably kiss them to death. Now, Roxy, no, no, She's a little bit evil. That's why I like her though. I don't trust her fully around people, but Loki, on the other hand, is they were they were like surprised, I guess, like when dogs are in so much pain, when you, I guess you go into their mouth, they have to have two people so that they don't snap down. And he just like was opening his mouth, wagging his tail. Like they, when they were waking up from anesthesia, he was wagging his tail and he was like, your mommy's here. And then he started thumping his tail and I could hear him start, like you guys hear him talk to me. He was talking to them. He was the only dog talking. I was like, yeah, I forgot to mention my dog is very vocal. Like, he was talking to them. They were like, "Oh my god, he's so cute." He is such a wonderful good boy, and I'm like seeing him this morning. I have my heart has like literally feel has some kind of relief because yesterday it took. I'm surprised I didn't cry. Like it was a lot. It was so much. And then getting him into the car. I got him into the car to take him home, and then I got a phone call, and I was on Google Drive thing, like take me home and Google drives you home, like gives you the maps. I was halfway home, more than halfway home. I was on the 95 to all the people in the East Coast. You already know I was on the 95 going to Laurel and Ellicott, and they called, but I didn't recognize the number. Then Kendall called and was like, you left the medication. They forgot to give you the medication. So I had to take drive all the way back in an area I had no idea where I'm going. And I get panicked, like panicky off of like when I'm not familiar with the area. So and then I have a dog who's sedated in the back seat that is like holding on to my hand for it was just like I was really stressed and I got home and I was nobody was here, so I had to get him up the we live in a townhouse and you have to walk up steps to get to our front door. And I got him up the steps and I was like, okay, cool, cool. But every step we took him upstairs, he was whimpering and crying because it was stretching. So I had to like move his first paws, and he's heavy, his first paws onto the first step, and then help him with his caboose up the second step. And it was definitely a process. It was a process. And then he didn't drink for the longest time. Um, and when I called my vet to get emergency after hours to figure out what I can do to make him drink, they told me to rub cane like this syrup with a K. We have it. We use it for baking, but I can't think of it. To rub it on his gums if he's not drinking, responding to water, so that way he can still get the sugar and some like that he needs. I did that. Then he wasn't drinking for another few hours, and then they told me, and I never did this before either. I learned a lot yesterday. If your dog is not willing to drink anything, to open up either a canned tuna or a canned chicken, drain the broth from it, and give it to them. Give him just the broth, not the meat. And he started drinking, and then after that, he's been drinking water ever since. The God of Mischief is definitely right. Yes, the Caro. I had no. Did you guys know that though? Like seriously, I had no idea when they said that. I was like, what? And they said that a lot of dogs, when they're still have anesthesia on in them, that they don't. He's asleep on Kindle's pillow. When they're asleep, I mean, when they're having anesthesia, they don't want to get up to get something to drink. But if you rub that into their gums, um, that it'll help with the sugar that they need to start moving a little bit more. And about 2 hours afterwards, he did get up. He did drink the tuna fish water, which just sounds super gross, but he drank it. And then after he drank that water, he ate sweet potatoes, ate tons of chicken, and drank lots of water. I didn't know. I've had dogs all my life. I guess none of my dogs really had any major surgeries except getting spayed or neutered. Um, so I was actually quite surprised by that. I know it was just weird. He did respond after that. He started drinking after he had that, I guess, that little bit of sugar that he needed. Yeah, I Kendall first did the chicken and he wasn't responsive. Then Kendall made a chicken tuna concoction broth and he drank that. And then that was it. After, we didn't have to give him that anymore. He was back in his water bowl. He was taking he my okay, so Louis kind of bougie. He loves ice water. So whenever Whenever one of us goes to the freezer, he'll look at the freezer like, okay, grab that scoop of ice and pour it in my water bowl. So he likes ice water. So he went back to drinking his ice water, and he's been eating chicken and sweet potatoes and rice. Yes, he's been doing really good. Really good. He used the restroom, so that was like my biggest thing. I was like, I know that's a big thing for people, so only can imagine it is for dogs. And he only can walk up to 3 times a day for no more than 10 minutes a day. His incision is like in two different spaces on his stomach. My kids handled it well. Like they were legitimately just concerned about him. They handled it really well. Except my oldest, she's really emotional, and it's okay. He has now. I found on Amazon a pillow one that's like the cone, and he's able to drink and eat a whole lot better because the cone he was walking into walls, walking into the stairs, and then what made us try to get the inflatable pillow is he was trying to go downstairs and his cone of sadness, that's what we call it, the cone of sadness, like kind of got hooked onto a bar. So he was trying to get out and his head was getting pulled the other way. And we're like, oh no, we got to figure out something else. So it's an inflatable pillow meant for like dogs that are getting neutered or spayed, like around. And I found out a lot of why he was in surgery. Like females do better with the spaying than males, and most female like cats don't even have to wear the coat of sorrow. So I was like, interesting, had no idea. Yeah. Yeah, I he with the people I wouldn't wasn't gonna be too concerned, but it is all coincide with the day that we're getting estimates on our sliding glass window because we have tons of air coming out of there, and so I need to keep him calm while there's people in the house, and that's the difficult part because Loki is a really curious puppy, and he's a barker, and then like he feeds off of Roxy. If Roxy is like vibrating with energy, like he's like, okay, I'll do the same thing. So yeah, my dog likes eating ice too. I always thought I'm just like okay. He all his blood work looks okay. I keep checking his gums. I've learned a lot about body temperatures for dog temperatures and the whole 9 yards. So, but he's okay, and I'm glad he's okay. Yesterday was just wow. Before like the sticker shock of the money, the crying because you almost crying because your dog's in surgery, to feeling pure joy when you hear your puppy start crying coming out of sedation. It was I can honestly say my most favorite sound in the world was when each three of my kids were born and they did their first cry because I knew their lungs were okay and they were in the world. Loki just took that fourth spot for my favorite sounds in the world because I guess I was holding my breath the whole time, and that was like the best sound. When I heard him start talking, I was like, "That's my dog." And the other people in the room were like, "How do you know?" I was like, "I know my dog. That's my dog." And they were like, "Loki, big boy," and stuff like that. And it was just, I was so happy when I heard him come out of this the out of the surgery. I was worried a little bit last night because he just had surgery, but he did good. He woke up Kendall whining because he wanted to go outside, so he let him outside, and he went up and down the stairs by himself. When yesterday, anytime he had to use the restroom, we would have to take him up and down, or even we have stairs going down to the backyard. So I was like, yeah, this is the first time I ever said I want to. I actually wish I had a patio, but he did it. He did a good job, and apparently with you guys live, he decided I'm gonna jump onto the bed. So while I was in the waiting room, I did order from Sullivan's because we were all talking about it. Uh, I don't know. I'll try to put the listing to their Etsy shop and here. They have some of the most prettiest pack bundles I've ever seen, and it's like a combination of zipper tape and webbing. And so I got like one or two. I think I got two of those, and they already shipped it out that I had a small order. I know this sounds silly, but whenever I have a small order, I always feel like it takes a little while longer for them to ship. They shipped it out within an hour of purchasing it. Very pretty bundles. And I was like, Jenny, you were absolutely right. So as soon as that comes in, hopefully that will come in like Thursday, I mean, Friday. They're not that far away from me either. Um, I will, I think they're not that far away from me. No, I'm not too sure because you know how like when you're on Etsy, you can start like narrowing down like where you want it in the what part of the US. You can the filters on Etsy are amazing. Because like that's how I found these people that I like to get my scissors from. They're in Virginia and they're a mom and pop place and their scissors are incredibly sharp. I only had one pair of bad scissors from them that like if you held one part of the scissors, the other part would just come swinging and no matter how much you screwed it tight, it was never tight enough. Their prices are I don't know how they sell them like that to be honest with you. I cuz like I don't know. And I know the first one I got was the Dolce collection. It's the stripes, but I have never been able to get my hands on the tiramisu zipper tape from Zipper Valley. I've always wanted to try because I use a lot of browns and earth tones in my bags, especially when I do the Hobbit one. Um, and they had it, so that's what I bought. I bought the Dolce, and I bought like I want to say something that was in the brown with like flowers, and I'm kind of excited about that. Oh, I have some other good news other than Loki being okay. Um, I know a lot of people have been reaching out to me trying to figure out like pricing and questions about conventions and Comic Cons like I do. So on Friday I have a guest who does a lot of conventions and she's gonna be part of our Midnight Margarita. And you guys all know her and you all love her, Lauren Mormino. So she'll be on with us on Friday. I'll give you guys all the time information. It's going to be later in the evening, like 9:30 Eastern time, because that's why I call it Midnight Margarita and 8:30 Central time, I guess. I think so. Yes. So she'll be on, and you can ask her questions in reference to, like Comic Cons. How does she get started? Um, like how long did it take to figure out your booth situation? Because like, I get a lot of booth questions, like setup, because my setup is different from Comic Cons, from craft shows. Um, you can ask her questions in reference to what do you think what's the best selling bag at Comic Cons? Like, out of all your fandoms, what fandoms do you think sells the most? Like, all your questions that you've had. So, I think it'll be a really fun thing to do. And I'm really happy that she's going to be on. And then I'm going to be selling the Chubby Toke by I'm not going to say their name right. The business name. It's called the Chubby Tote. It has no hardware. It has no zippers. It's just fabric and webbing. Um, I'm, there you go, Jenny. You're on it. you're um. So I'm gonna be sewing that. I don't know. I know that Lauren's in Comic Con mode. She has C2E2, so she's probably gonna be batch sewing some stuff for her convention. When you're in that zone, it's like hard to try any other pattern. Like after April, I tried no longer. I tried not to sew as many tester bags because it is like nonstop trying to prep for different conventions. Yeah, I love her stuff too. She was so sweet when I asked for permission. She even wished me luck on my YouTube journey. Like she was really unbelievably kind. She was so kind. Yeah, I bought that pattern. I bought the pattern and I bought a kit from Stitch Supply Co. And when I bought the kit, I messaged to see if I can do a tutorial on the chubby toe because I thought honestly, I think it would be a really good bag at not only conventions because maybe people will put their little trinkets and stuff and have like their fabrics being like like their fandom. I also thought like what if you took the handles and put them on the sides? It could be baskets. That's a cute perfect little basket to put like sewing notions in or like putting a basket above your in your bathroom, and it could be like different toiletries or a basket to give someone for the holidays or welcome to the neighborhood or you're the best teacher ever. So that's what, when I seen that tote, I was like, oh, that has endless possibilities because it's so much wider than the average tote. That if you were to take the handles and just put them on the side, it would be a great basket. That's why I asked, and I like, who doesn't like a pattern that doesn't have to have hardware or zippers? I mean, it's good. That's, I feel like patterns like that is what are good refreshing patterns and can help you get your sojo back if it's been lost. And it can be used in your house for so many reasons. Like, I mean, all like the ones I said, I thought it would be really nice for teacher gifts, like to put like, a mug, some teas, and a gift card in it, and it's like a whole like kit, or someone to get well. So yeah, today is gonna be pretty. I'm glad that you just got that pattern. Today will be a pretty busy day. What my plans are is while he's sleeping, I haven't had a chance to go through all the instructional videos for the silhouette. So I'm going to sit down and be on my laptop and watch all the videos for the silhouette. I was going to bring it up here and cut something, but I don't want any noises to startle him. And I haven't used the silhouette, so I don't know how loud or soft it is. So I'm probably not going to do that. I'm just probably going to just read and mess around with pattern pieces and just watch him. I'm not going to lie to you. Maybe take a nap. I'm not a napper, but woo, yesterday. And luckily Kindle will be here around noon. The people are going to be checking our door around 2, and he has the kids for this weekend and for this today, and I could just focus on Loki. I know. And he is the most important. Like my kids were like they're the best. Like, so they get dropped off at from oldest to youngest. It's the weirdest thing. Their time school difference literally goes from oldest to youngest. So Faith gets dropped off around 7:15. Hope gets off dropped off at 7:45. And my son Kendall Jr., but aka Ken Ken, gets dropped off at 8:25. So when when Hope got dropped off, I mean when Faith got dropped off, Hope was in here watching the puppy. When Hope got dropped off, Ken, they were just like automatically on it. They were just, and then with my son, the dog automatically went downstairs, and I know why he did it, because my son went to go get his smoothie, and my Loki's incredibly he's so protective over Ken, so he was probably going downstairs to see what he was doing to make sure he was all right. And I never thought about having Kendall go up and down the stairs because that is a one person he always follows. So he was downstairs. We let him outside. And then I didn't want to lock him in, put him in a room and close the door because I didn't want him like howling or getting frustrated. So I took him for a car ride, but we're in the lower car. So he was able just to walk. You've seen him in the picture. He's freaking gigantor. So he was able just to like walk naturally in there. um, and yeah, and the vet has already called. I have a really good vet. Like they already called to see if he was okay, if he's staying hydrated. That if he doesn't drink at least 2 to 3 bowls of water, they're like he can come in and get an IV pack. And I'm like, I have a really good vet, a really really good vet that cares a lot about their dogs and cats. Next time I take them to the vet, I have to show you. They have the cutest entries. Like they have entries and exits for cats only, and then dogs only. And then on the other side of the thing is for anything other than a dog or a cat, which you will see some pretty interesting stuff in there. Like I seen peacocks. I didn't know. No, I don't have any information on that yet. They did take like samples and they did take blood again, so I'm waiting on blood work. And so we're off of that, but he had no obstruction, and nothing in there, and I was like, for sure they're gonna find a sock or a piece of a crock. You can't leave. Oh, see, me and my husband have Crocs too, but we always put our Crocs up. There's something about Crocs that like the vet said he thinks it's because the toys that we get him look the like similar material, and that's why he always goes after him. And socks. He always goes after Kindle's socks. Like always. Like we're running around the house trying to get it. And I think, and I swear, if a dog is smiling, he is smiling when everyone's trying to chase this dog that you wouldn't think would be so fast because of how much he weighs and how tall he is. And he proves us wrong every single time. Like the kids have to go, like come towards him, like in a standoff on in like a triangle to try for one person to get it. And you have to understand, Faith is in track. Hope is like freaking nature fast, and Kinkin's not. He likes to play rough, and this dog has like pure joy, like doing it. Sometimes when he grabs something, I'm in the room, in my bedroom, or I'm downstairs in the workroom, and I'm dying of laughter because like you have to hear it because all three of them are trying to get this one thing out of this dog's mouth, and he is like he. I swear he's laughing because by the time they get him, he'll just drop it and they'll be like, okay, good. And they fall for it every time. Then he'll grab it again and then run around the whole entire house going on different levels. It's so it was like, okay, he has to have ate a sock. He had to. And they were like, yeah, there's nothing in his stomach. He just has tons of inflammation in his digestive tract and his intestines. And then she's like, most likely, he was like, he ate something that didn't agree with him. So they gave him also like an anti-acid, like gas, like someone that has acid reflux. She's like, that was the best explanation she can give me. She's like, you could tell, like, if you were to open up someone that has constant acid reflexes, their wall lining is usually mostly always inflamed when they eat foods that are triggering. So she's like, we are going to do tests, and if it's his dog food, you could be something that's changing it over, and that's all he would need is not to go back to that dog food. But she was like, it looks like someone that has like GERD or acid reflux. Yeah, Loki is. Yeah, he could have been named. I'm not going to lie, he should have been named because for him being so big, you just don't expect him to move the way he does. I don't know, but I'm gonna probably head off and watch videos on the silhouette so that way I can show you guys how to do it. I'm hoping that when he's feeling a little better, then we can move things around because I want to be able to do some projector tutorials and definitely some silhouette tutorials. I keep having this really cool idea because I love the Aries from Knotted Thread, and I thought, what if I could, with a bigger mat, can I cut out two or three in a row, like let the machine have it, like do multiples, and it'll be easier when I'm like making bags for Comic Cons. Like, what can I do to make multiple things easier? And also, just that there's some really cool most files now have some kind of SVG file, and it just makes your life so much easier to have everything cut out, and you're not having to cut it. Also, I want to figure out there was somebody I was watching. I'm waiting for the link, but there was someone that was watching that knows how to not have as much waste. I never had that issue with waste on the Brother Scan and Cut. I feel like it's the same amount of waste that I do when I'm cutting it by hand, but we shall see. We shall see. Yeah, just now watching my dog drool on my husband's pillow. So I as long as he's happy, I'm fine. I'm still trying to figure out how he jumped up. The reason why I'm saying this is my bed is really tall. Like my kids have to hop on to get it's really tall. So that's why I'm like I'm going to go check him, but he's not crying or whimpering. I see his pillow going his neck pillow going up and down. So, but right now I kind of like the neck pillow. I'm just trying to make sure he can't reach anything cuz we call him Yoga Puppy cuz like if I can make a calendar of all the awkward ways that this dog sleeps in the weirdest positions ever, like just having his lower body on the couch and his chest and his head backwards, and you're just like, this is sleeping on his back on the stairs. Like he sleeps really weird, and his head is like an owl sometimes, and I think that's the Great Dane part of him. He's really flexible. So I know. I hope he does. I'll send an update picture tonight, and hopefully when I do Captain Log tomorrow, I'm back into the swing of things. I hope everyone has a really good day. I really appreciate all your guys' thoughts, prayers, and positive energy. Reading all your messages really helped me out last night, and I just want you to know that. So everyone stay safe and happy sewing, everyone, and you have a good day. Bye.